Have you ever been told by your narcissistic partner that he didn't know what he was doing? That he didn't realize he was going to hurt you? Well, I want to talk about this today of it being a manipulation tactic and how narcissists use this to be able to confuse you and to be able to frustrate you, making you think that they didn't actually know. By the end of this video, I hope you all have a deeper understanding of the tactics of some of the ways that this happens and also how to be able to move forward in your healing journey. If you guys are new here, my name is Ben Taylor. I'm a self-aware narcissist on this channel to provide awareness about narcissistic abuse. I'm the founder of Raw Motivations, the creator of the NARC app, and your guide in the 45-day Clarity Challenge that you can access at claritychallenge.net. This challenge is built to help you break free of the trauma bond, get out of the rumination, move forward in your journey of healing to help you become the person that you're called to be. When we talk through this aspect of did he actually know? I want to walk you through this process to help you be better equipped to see how the narcissist claims of innocence and also to recognize the manipulative patterns that he's using to keep you trapped. So stick around. If you haven't already, like and subscribe, send this, share this. Thanks for listening today. And here we go. So, did he say he didn't know what he was doing? First thing I want to talk to you about is the manipulative denial of responsibility. You see, narcissists will oftentimes use the excuse that I didn't know about the impact. I didn't know that this was going to hurt you. I didn't know that this was going to cause such a big issue, going to cause a big deal. And they use this to avoid the accountability piece of the fact that knowing and also having the intention are two different things. Now, when I talk about this, a lot of times people will bring up this aspect of like, well, he didn't intend to hurt me. Or he'll say, I didn't intend to hurt you. I didn't mean for it to happen. I didn't realize it was going to be that way. And when we talk about this concept of intention, I want you to think with me for just a second. The narcissist will tell you, I didn't intend to hurt you. Well, if you turn that question around a little bit, he also didn't intend not to hurt you because he didn't think about anything else except himself. For me, I didn't think about anyone else except myself. I didn't have the intention, quote unquote, to hurt other people, but I also didn't have the intention to actually care for other people. Big difference. But we don't think of it that way. So a lot of times a narcissist will be like, I didn't know it was going to hurt you, thinking that that gets them off the hook. Now, there is a difference between someone who's like, I didn't actually know, and someone who's just doing it because they didn't actually care. The thing that you'll see with a narcissist is you'll see repeated over and over and over again this aspect of not caring because the decisions aren't actually changing. There's no action that's being taken on the narcissist's part to stop the abusive behaviors. This whole aspect of, I didn't know, ends up coming back to this piece of being like, I'm not going to take responsibility of my behavior. Now, you might have seen this in your relationship where he's like not taking responsibility of it no matter what. He claims, I didn't know what I was doing. It's crafted in a way to manipulate. If a narcissist can get to the place where they can pretend that they're ignorant, that they can pretend that they had no clue that this was going to affect you, sometimes they'll use it of like, I didn't know cheating was going to hurt you. They'll use, like, that's an extreme example, but they'll use different aspects to try to manipulate and to try to confuse you, oftentimes in the form of gaslighting. But if by doing this, a narcissist will seek to invalidate your feelings, making you think, well, maybe it's not that big of a deal. Maybe I'm making it too big of a deal. And you start to wonder, maybe I'm making such a big of a deal because he's not making a big deal of it. He doesn't think it's that big of a deal. Maybe, and it starts to invalidate your thoughts, your feelings, and your perception. Gaslighting, starting to move into the perception piece. But it keeps you trapped. Ultimately, it keeps you trapped in the web of their control, of you being able to say like, oh, well, he didn't know, so I guess I should give him another chance. But then he didn't know 20 times on the same exact thing. That's where we start running into a problem. Okay. And that's the piece I want you to think of. If you're getting this answer of, I didn't know that I was going to hurt you. I didn't know that this was what I was doing, but you've already told him, this needs to be a red flag for you. This needs to be something like, wait a second, this has been a habit. The whole process of this tactic is to shift the focus from the behavior to your reactions. Okay. So if you look at it, if you zoom out for a little bit, I want you to just consider the whole reason of saying he didn't know is this aspect of let me actually change your focus from the hurtful behavior of like, oh, I hurt you. Oh, I didn't know, to your reaction, how you responded. And what it does is it leaves you questioning yourself. picture this for a second. Like, you confront your partner about the comments that he said. Like, he said something that was hurtful. He said that just rubbed you the wrong way, and you're like, I really want to talk to him about this. And he responds with an innocent look and is like, I had no idea that you'd take it that way. I was just joking. It leaves you starting to doubt your emotions and your feelings, and it makes you feel like you're overreacting. Now, just at a snapshot, that might not be that big of a deal. You're like, oh, that's a small thing. But we see this repeated, especially when you're with a covert narcissist, and all of a sudden you're at the place where you feel completely invalidated. Okay, so then when we also go into this piece, I need you to understand that it's a calculation of manipulation. Okay, now what I mean about this is narcissists oftentimes are masters at manipulate, who oftentimes will calculate out their actions to receive specific outcomes. Does this mean everything is calculated? No. That would be more into the sociopathic, psychopathic, but for narcissists that want a certain result, a lot of times you will see calculations come in. Now, what I mean by this is behind the mask, behind the innocence, narcissists are aware of the consequence of their actions. You're like, whoa, wait a second. I thought they didn't know. Wait, did they know? Did they not know? Let me explain. When I mean they're aware of the consequence of the actions, they change how they act based around the people that they're with. So when you're in relationship with this guy and he's treating you this way, he's screaming at you, he's yelling at you, this is probably not how he's showing up to the rest of society. The rest of society might think he's a great guy, that he's a good churchgoer, that he shows up great for his boss, and all these things. And everybody's like, wait a second, what's the problem? Because they don't see the person behind the mask. They don't see the person that's behind the closed doors. And so they use different aspects of their words and behaviors to control and manipulate situations to their advantage. Okay, so this is where it'll appear in a certain sense, but not in another way. And this whole aspect of like, I didn't know what I was doing, avoids the responsibility like we talked about before, and avoids the accountability to maintain a grip on power, control, and how they appear and how they look to the rest of society. Think of it this way, like where he continually downplays achievements in front of friends, in front of families, and then in private, he's saying something completely opposite. That intentionally does it to undermine your confidence and maintain control. So like in front of other people, like puts down achievements, puts down things that he's done, okay? But in private, it's completely different. And private does it intentionally to be able to confuse, to be able to frustrate, to be able to put people in a place of like, oh, he's so great. It's all about the manipulation. It's all about the mask. Narcissism is all about different aspects of masking, okay? How can I look a certain way so I can get an end result? So I don't expose the shame that I feel inside. So that I don't feel this way. So I don't look bad. All these different pieces. And an easy way to do that is saying, I didn't know what I was doing. Not true. Okay? Narcissists know what they're doing. The thing is, they have to be able to mask it and hide it and modify it so that it only fits in certain societal norms. If it doesn't fit out in society, it's going to happen at the home because they know they can twist and manipulate your perception of reality to keep you stuck. So, how do we actually start to break free from the manipulation? Understanding the tactics that's actually happening help you start to move forward in this manipulation piece. So like understanding right here, right now, he knows. You're like, but he says he doesn't know. He knows. But he knows. I just need you to hear that for a second. Like the narcissist knows what he's doing. Does he have the same words? Does he have the same labels? No. But at the end of the day, after you've already communicated it multiple times, he knows. Stop giving extra grace to someone who's using that against you and beating you up with it. This person knows what they're doing, which is why they only do it around you, which is why they only look a certain way around certain people. It is manipulation and it is abuse. This piece, I just want you to understand fully and wholly. He knows what he's doing. That's it. If that's the one thing you can learn from today and just take away from this to understand, this person is using this against you to confuse you, to manipulate you, to keep you in the fog so that you stay stuck. Narcissist doesn't have to control you with all these elaborate things and making you do or not do certain things. They just have to control you by keeping you confused. If you can be confused about your emotions, your reactions, your goals, your boundaries, the direction that you want to go in life, they got you stuck. And that's it. Game over. The goal is that you start to see this for what it actually is so you can be free, so you can move forward into the person that you're called to be. If we can help you with that today, please reach out for help. You can go to rawmotivations.com if you want to talk to me one-on-one. If we could be of any help of getting you into the Clarity Challenge, go to claritychallenge.net. This has people on the site that are talking to you about, hey, this is how we've gotten free. This is how we've moved forward in our healing, in our growth, in our development. Love to be able to help you out however we can. If we can be of any help, please reach out. If you haven't already, like, subscribe, share, review, anything like that. If you're listening on the podcast today, thank you all so much. Y'all have a blessed and wonderful day, and we'll catch you guys next time.